WNYC is supported by NJ Pack and the North to Shore Festival, presenting Bill Nye the Science Guy on June 15th and Damon John of ABC's Shark Tank on June 22nd, presented by Tech United New Jersey. Tickets at northtoshore.com.
Marketplace Morning Report is coming up next, and then in 10 minutes at 9 o'clock, it's the BBC News Hour on 93.9 FM. Let's check in with London to see what they're working on. London, good morning.
Good morning, WNYC. I'm Rebecca Kesby. On today's News Hour, we're live from the States as new migration rules come into force on the southern border. There's a huge security operation as former Pakistani Prime Minister Imran Khan is back in court, and a supernova thousands of times larger than the sun is discovered. That's BBC News Hour coming up at 9 on 93.9 FM WNYC.
Still looking for a Mother's Day gift? How about the gift of time? Take an hour and take a listen to our special takeaway episode on the politics of motherhood. And hey, invite Mama to listen along with you. I'm Melissa Harris Perry, and that's next time on The Takeaway, weekday afternoons at 3 on 93.9 FM.
The price of eggs in China, Maine, China, Michigan, and China, Texas, the price of those eggs is down.
Marketplace Morning Report is supported by Amazon Business, helping provide a smarter, easier way to get the supplies businesses need to thrive. Amazon Business, your partner for smart business buying.
I'm David Brancaccio. First, with the U.S. on a collision course with an upper limit on what the government is allowed to pay for spending that both Democrats and Republicans in Congress previously approved, today's planned meeting between President Biden and congressional leaders has been scrapped. Marketplace's Nancy Marshall-Genzer reports.
House Speaker Kevin McCarthy says President Biden didn't cancel today's talks. White House and congressional leaders just decided it was best for staff to keep meeting to iron out the details of an agreement to lift or suspend the debt limit. McCarthy told reporters this is not a sign that negotiations are breaking down. Any agreement could include new limits on federal spending, clawbacks of unspent COVID relief money, and permitting reform for energy projects. Without an agreement, the U.S. could default as soon as June 1st. I'm Nancy Marshall-Genzer for Marketplace.
One of the highlights from this week's consumer inflation report, prices for what's called food at home fell for a second month. Those prices are still well above where they were a year ago, but the price of eggs has just tumbled. Here's Marketplace's Henry Epp.
The great egg price spike of 2022 and early 2023 seems to be mostly behind us. So what exactly happened?
This is classic supply and demand.
Daniel Sumner is a professor of agricultural and resource economics at the University of California, Davis.
The quantity of eggs fell because there was disease and we were trying to deal with the disease.
Specifically bird flu.
And prices went up because there was a lower quantity supplied by the market.
The industry was initially slow to respond to bird flu, Sumner says, and the virus stuck around a lot longer than anyone expected. But cases have dropped in recent months, and egg producers are finally starting to catch up.
If you look at the wholesale prices, they've absolutely collapsed.
Consumers aren't seeing all of those savings yet, but the average cost of a dozen grade A eggs came down more than $1.50 between January and April. Besides recovery from the bird flu, there's also a seasonal factor at play, says Mark Belmar, a professor of applied economics at the University of Minnesota.
As spring comes in and as early summer comes in, hens lay more eggs, and then that leads to there's this increase in the supply of available eggs on the market, which also puts downward pressure on the price of eggs.
Cheaper eggs could have a hidden benefit, Belmar says.
As the price of eggs goes down, people consume more eggs, they consume more protein via consuming more eggs, which means that they also consume fewer carbohydrates.
And that, Belmar says, could have a positive impact on public health. I'm Henry Epp for Marketplace.
After PacWest Bank, based in California, reported that customers pulled out nearly 10% of all deposits last week, the bank's stock price fell 22% yesterday. But the stock is up 1% in pre-market trading now. The indicators, Dow futures are up 0.4%, S&P futures are up 0.3%, NASDAQ futures are up 0.2%.
Marketplace Morning Report is supported by Fidelity. A dedicated Fidelity advisor can help create a wealth plan for a full financial picture. More at fidelity.com/wealth. Investment minimums apply. Fidelity Brokerage Services, LLC. And by UKG, an HR payroll and workforce management solution designed to help make a fairy tale workplace a reality. UKG, our purpose is people.
The southern Mediterranean city of Antalya is part of what's called the Turkish Riviera. It's a tourist destination, but more recently, since Russia's war on Ukraine began, Antalya has also been a refuge, a destination for Russians and Ukrainians looking to escape the war. That has sent house prices surging and added to an acute cost of living crisis, and now it's playing a role in the Turkish presidential election. Victoria Craig reports.
Nazlı Erol and her fiancé sell a certain vision to Antalya tourists with their motorcycle rental business, a ride with a coastal breeze through their hair. With travelers coming back, business is strong. They figured now would be a good time to buy a home, but they were wrong.
Prices went towards Mars. There isn't much to say. It started to increase exponentially. That's why we gave up. We said we could expand our business instead of buying a house.
Home prices are high, in part because of inflation, and also because the region is popular with foreign buyers. Here in Antalya, home sales to foreigners jumped 21% over the course of a year. Russians relocating after the invasion of Ukraine were by far the biggest buyers, and that squeezes local buyers like Erol.
They want ridiculous prices for houses that are uninhabitable. We were exhausted. Instead, we found a house to rent.
Still, even rental prices have become unaffordable for some. 23-year-old Tala Burke searched for 2 years before deciding to stay at home with his mom. He hopes to buy when prices cool.
If I go in a disciplined way in my career, it might be possible in 3 years, maybe 5 years with bank loans.
Kemal Kılıçdaroğlu, who is challenging President Erdogan for control of the country, has vowed to ban all foreign home sales for 5 years or until prices fall. For Remax real estate consultant Aslı Kartal, this hot market is great. She and her team celebrate each sale by ringing a brass bell.
Antalya is a place that a lot of people want to come. They have many nice job opportunities here. Real estate demand is getting higher and higher every day.
In Turkey, investment properties can also be a vehicle to citizenship with a minimum investment of $400,000. That rate has almost doubled from a year ago, which Kartal says has detracted some foreign buyers, but she doesn't oppose more restrictions. Erol, though, doesn't want to see foreigners completely barred.
Because we also earn money from tourism and foreign visitors in Antalya, a regulation can be brought that will not disrupt local businesses.
If Kılıçdaroğlu's six-party coalition doesn't win Sunday's election, it's not clear if President Erdogan would impose further restrictions on international property buyers. In Antalya, Turkey, I'm Victoria Craig for Marketplace.
And the U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission is asking Peloton bike owners to look for a recall notice. 2 million of these stationary trainers are being recalled because the seat post can break. Stock in Peloton Interactive fell 9% yesterday. Our executive producer is Kelly Silvera. Our digital producer is Jarrett Dang. Our engineers are Jessen Duhler and Nick Esposito. I'm David Brancaccio. The Marketplace Morning Report. From APM, American Public Media.